Just wanted to make a quick reaction video to the Rams-Cowboys game. Unfortunately, we took a L today. Really missed Sean Lee. Defensively, just weren't able to get guys on the ground. Todd Gurley, I think, finished with 215 yards total today, running and passing. Missed him in the pass game, short, intermediate. Sean McVay really schemed up a lot of stuff coming off the line of scrimmage, route combos. Really struggled with getting guys like Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods, their tight end Garrett Everett. Sean Lee mucks up the middle for quarterbacks, and when guys are able to get a free release and go across, and Jalen's coming along, Jalen's been, he's still learning. He's still learning. He hasn't had a whole lot of snaps, and he still struggles with recognizing plays, which is why he's kind of stepped behind. Sometimes his speed is able to bail him out, but a lot of times Sean Lee is able to diagnose plays and get there on time, get there to fill the gaps. Offensively, that's kind of my issue with us too, because we don't leverage defenses in terms of our route combinations with slants, bunches, stacks, running slants and running out routes out of those sets with Cole and Dez. A lot of our stuff is, again, wrestling matches at the line of scrimmage with corners. Dak is still, moving on to Dak is still having some accuracy issues. I'm not sure what's up there. I think some of the stuff is just timing with Dez, still trying to force feed him the ball at times, but he did miss a slant and a couple other throws. Now, he countered that with making some plays with his legs. Previous video, I had referenced him after the Broncos game actually moving around, getting out of the pocket, making more plays with his legs. But some of that interior pressure really, really bothered us, especially when we weren't able to establish our ground game in the second half. Only 6 points in the second half. That's not good enough, especially coming out of the half where we knew we were in a shootout. The Rams were moving the ball really, really well. They were kicking a lot of field goals, but they were getting the ball up and down the field, and that's what they're getting with Sean McVay. And Sean McVay is, again, as I mentioned, very, very familiar with our defense coming from the Redskins. Wade being familiar with Jason, previously being our head coach. They both got back at us today. Wade getting his revenge. Tip my hat to him. I love Wade, but Jason Garrett obviously now being our head coach, unfortunately, we're struggling with making adjustments, and that's why we haven't put together this whole entire season 4 consecutive quarters of good football. Today, we came out first half, great. Second half, completely off track. The last few weeks, it's been vice versa. Broncos game, we didn't put together 4 quarters of anything but bad football. So as we move forward into Green Bay next week, we're really going to have to establish our ground game across 4 quarters and get Dak into a play-action passing rhythm. Unfortunately, right now, our passing game is not sophisticated enough to carry us without the run, like it was with Tony. And our offense has changed. A lot of the stuff I'm seeing on social media out of the game right now is Romo would have won this game today, blah, blah, blah. But one of the things you guys have to realize with Tony is prime Tony was running a different offense. Right now, this offense is built around the running game. And then when that running game comes apart like it did in the second half today, we're going to have issues in our passing game. You saw that with Tony in 2014. So stay patient with Dak. He does need to get those accuracy issues addressed, as I mentioned earlier. But as a whole, I still like where we are going into the Green Bay game. We're going to get David Irving back next week. We should have Sean Lee back next week. And hopefully, we're able to make those adjustments and start to recognize what some of these other teams are doing with these stack and bunch formations and implement that into our offense. We'll see. But moving forward, as always, go Cowboys.